Back. I feel a little bit more energetic. Sorry about the first half. I was a little tired. I've been working all day, and it's roughly 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So listen, I welcome any calls, any text messages. Please call us at 786-362-6525 or contact us at radio1americatalk@yahoo.com. Anyways, we were talking about the American economy and obviously what is coming. And what is coming down the pike are higher taxes, 1, inflation, 2. That's a 1-2 punch that many of us will suffer substantially as a result. This is not a good time, and I repeat, don't buy a new car now. Do not buy a new car. Do not lease a new car. Do not spend money that you don't have to spend. Hang on to your dollars. Even if people are presenting substantial savings, quote unquote savings, don't go out there and spend your money. Invest your money. Make your money work as hard or harder than you do. It is a must. Invest your money wisely. Even if it's just $10, $20, $50 a month that you can put away, $100. If you do it wisely over a period of time, the power of compounding will pay off. I promise you there will be nothing better than down the road, instead of you having to pay 6, 7, 8% to a car company to buy a car, you can walk in and say, how much is that car? 20,000 bucks? Here's $15,000 in cash. Do you want my cash and I can take your car? I guarantee you that if you have cash, money talks, and the rest, well, you know what happens. It walks. So please, let's talk about a little bit about what we talked earlier. Talked about inflation. What kind of inflation and where the inflation is going to hit you the hardest. I couldn't believe, yesterday I went to the grocery store and it just blew me away. I went to buy, I love apple juice, and I drink some apple juice all the time. And I went to buy a gallon of apple juice. $6.80 for a gallon of apple juice. Can you believe that? $6. I mean, hell, that's twice as expensive as a gallon of gas. When you start looking at things, you say, why is it $6? It's because the dollar is not worth anything. It's not because of supply and demand of the issue of the apples and the dry and the, no. The bottom line is our dollar is dropping like a lead balloon. And that's what we have to understand. Dozen eggs, outrageously priced. Milk, all the staples are going through the roof. And what's really funny is that you're not hearing anything about that anywhere in any of the press. You don't hear about it. They try to feed you this baloney that the inflation rate is under control, and yet from 3.5 years ago, you're paying over $1.50 more for a gallon of gas than you were paying then. If it was 2 months ago, you'd have been paying $2 more. Thank God it's come down a little bit in the last 3 months. But inflation is unbelievable. Okay, we have another call coming in. Let's pick up. Hi, Joe Gonzalez. Welcome to the American Economy. How can I help you?
Yes, I'm calling to see if you, to get your take on, my name is Jesus Gonzalez. Jose Luis, no?
Sí. Just call me Silverback.
Okay, Silverback, okay. I'm actually calling to find out. I heard today about there's a growing number of foreclosures that are actually taking place with the older citizens. And so I'd like to find out if you have any stats or any information. It's something that I was reading that is actually growing at an alarming pace. Is there any information that you have or anything that you can share that you think it will happen, or any forecast? Okay, how can you help out with that?
I'd be happy to help out. Let me share with you, I work for a company, and I'm not going to disclose the name of the company, but I work for a company that what we do is we buy troubled debt. We buy non-performing loans from the FDIC and from banks throughout the country. We have bought literally billions, with a B, of dollars in loans that are non-performing. And we've brought these loans into our company, and we have found that in the last 6 months, many of those non-performing loans that we were trying to structure in a modification environment, in other words, restructure the loans so we can help those people pay and you know, see if we can somehow are able to get them. Yeah, they can't. They can't even support a restructuring of the debt. So we have seen a significant increase in, we've had to foreclose, in foreclosures. Our attorneys are so busy that it's amazing. And we're foreclosing on all types of property, not just residential. We're talking about flex space, we're talking about retail space, we're talking about commercial office buildings, apartment complexes, single-family homes, developments throughout the country. We have literally thousands and thousands and thousands of properties. And yes, it's going to get bad and even worse before it gets any better. Because what has to happen, Jesus, what has to happen is all this shadow inventory that is sitting in the banks' inventory today. The banks have not taken those assets, those non-performing loans, and flushed them out and sell them. Because if you have something on the books for, let's say, $10,000, but you got to sell it for $5,000, that means you have to take a $5,000 hit in your capital section of your balance sheet, and that means it's a loss. It's a financial loss. If many of these banks take these losses today, guess what? Welcome back to the banking crisis of 2008, 9, and 10. We would have many more banks again, and FDIC would continue to close 200-300 banks a year, as they have in the last 2 years and 3 years. And the problem is that where's that going to take us? You know, think about that for just a minute. So foreclosures, yeah, they're going to get worse. There's no question about it. They're going to get worse. We see that now, and we're buying these loans, these non-performing loans, for cents on the dollar. I'm talking about, you know, 40, 30, 40, 50 cents on the dollar. So we're in a better position to help these people out because the burden has already been lifted to some degree on that particular debtor because, you know, although we have turned around and bought, let's go back to the example of $10,000, right? The $10,000, the individual owed us $10,000, he couldn't pay the $10,000, so we bought that loan for, let's say, $4,000. We go back to the individual and we say, look, we want you to pay us $5,000, even though we bought it for $4,000, because that's the business that we're in. We want to make a profit, so we make $1,000, right? But yet the debtor is basically given a break of $5,000 on that loan. This is just very elementary, very theoretical. This is, in practice, is a lot more sophisticated than this, but this is what's happening. This is what we're doing today to thousands and thousands and thousands of transactions. It's really amazing to me. And the inventories are still there. You know, you can go to any major financial institutions. You know all these financial institutions that the administration says they're too big to fail? Right. And I got beachfront property in Kansas. You know, so if you believe that, I got beachfront property in Kansas. Let's go to the next question. Got any other questions?
Yeah, no, that's about it. I mean, you guys, what do you do with these loans? When you buy these, you just go ahead and you sell them. You sell these loans back out again. You're selling the loan, the debt, or what do you sell? The actual property, or I mean, what do you? How does it work? You say, you know, you buy the loan for like 40 cents on the dollar,
right?
And then you look for someone that would finance them for what, 50 cents? How it works?
No. The way it works is that we buy it for 40 cents on the dollar. We try to restructure the loan with the debtor so that they can pay $5,000 as opposed to $10,000 that they owe. Right. If they can't, we foreclose on whatever the collateral is, because most of these loans are collateralized. It could be by a house, or it could be by, you know, a duplex or apartment complex or something, you know.
Yeah.
Then if they don't, we have to incur the legal fees and incur the expense of foreclosing first and maintaining second. In many cases, these properties don't have insurance on them, so we have to enforce, obviously we have to put insurance on the properties to protect the investment that we've made. We also have to bring the property taxes current. In many cases, the property taxes are not current. So the margin is not as clean as I explained it to you. It's not as easy as I explained it to you at the beginning. I didn't want to get into all the details, but it's hard to make a living doing this, but it can be done. And what we do is we take these particular loans that we bought, right, at a discounted, and we try to work them through by either selling the loans themselves, packaging the loans and selling them to people, investors, who want to go through that effort. Maybe we group them based on commercial. Here's some commercials loans, and it might be a package of about 50 loans, or maybe they want commercial loans instead, and we do a package of maybe 100 commercial loans, and we sell those instead. Or maybe we foreclose and actually sell the real estate. And obviously when we sell the real estate to people who have the ability to pay for it, because we don't finance. We have to, obviously when we sell for cash. So that's why cash is king, and that's why I was telling all the listeners earlier that even if you can save $10, $20, $30 a month, is better than buying a new car and driving it and spending your money and really, unfortunately, not thinking about the future. The key here is you've got to make your money work as hard as you do. And most people, unfortunately, don't look at money like that. They think, oh no, I need the money to buy me a new watch, or I want to have the the high 6-inch heels, or I want to have the $30 hairdo, or I want to have whatever. And I can understand that. Those are choices you make, and you're free to make those choices. That's what's great about this country. But then, don't complain. Don't expect the government to step in and help you pay that mortgage when you fall behind. And that's the problem.
So do you have like an inventory of properties that are available,
Absolutely. There's thousands of properties. Thousands. I'm talking about we have more than 5,000 properties. Yeah. So just us.
I have to call you back at a different time, or
are you interested in buying some properties?
Well, I have a couple of them that I'd like to get rid of, but I would like to buy some others at a discounted price. I was one of the ones that got hit with the. I bought some properties up in Orlando right before the crash happened. So obviously I'm way underwater as well myself with some of these with a couple of these properties.
Well,
so I'm in the position where I have to do both. I would like to get rid of some and acquire others at a good price.
Well, it's better to start over again, obviously, and that's what you're trying to do, and I respect that. Don't feel bad. Welcome to the club. Everybody's in the same boat. I mean, when tide rises, all boats rise, and when tides come down, all boats, including the wealthy, they come down as well. Yes. So, yeah, absolutely. After this show, be happy to take your call, and Alfaro, one of my right hand, Alfaro will give you a call, and we can structure something, and I'd be happy to introduce you to the powers that be, so that maybe you can sell your stuff, or we might be able to sell you something. Who knows? Or maybe we do a trade.
All right. Sounds great. Sounds good. I'll get in contact with Alfaro then.
All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jesus. Great to hear from you.
Have a great day. All right.
You too. Well, like I said, I'd love to hear from you. Again, our telephone number is 786-362-6525, or write me an email at radio1americatalk@yahoo.com. Okay, today we've been talking about the American economy and the artificially maintained economy that we're experiencing. Let me just close by the following. I'd like to share with you some additional thoughts. As we know, inflation is going to come, and it's already here, but it's going to get really, really difficult. It has to. It's the only way we can pay down the debt. And the debt that this country has, so you have an idea, is going to be $17 trillion by the end of the year. 17 trillion with a T. That's amazing. That's a substantial amount of the actual national product of this country. So it's gotten out of control. So knowing that, and knowing that inflation is coming, and knowing that taxes are going to go up, and I'm talking about not just income taxes, payroll taxes are going to go up, sales taxes are going to go up, property taxes are going to go up. So you're going to get hit from all sides. And the way unemployment is at 8.2%, and it's not getting any better. If anything, it's going to head the other way for the next 6 months until election time. You know, I got to tell you, you have to be conservative. You have to save your pennies. You got to do it for a rainy day. I recommend that highly. Otherwise, you know, you might go to the unemployment one of these days and they'll say, you know, we'll give you this check, but if you cash it, if you can cash it, if you can get somebody to pay you something for that piece of paper, you'll be lucky. Because probably what will happen is that this country may very well default on many of its obligations if it continues the way it's going. And you know, it depends on one thing, only one thing. November of this year, America is going to make the most important decision in the history of America. We're going to make the most important decision, and that decision is who is going to be the next president of this country. God help us if we continue the way we're going. Because if we do, we're all going to be sitting in a bad place and working really hard for almost nothing. And if you think it's bad now, it can get a hell of a lot worse. So please, get involved, work hard, save a little money, and most of all, believe in the free market economy. Socialism in the history of the world has never worked. Never worked. Didn't work in Russia, didn't work in Cuba, didn't work in Nicaragua, didn't work anywhere. And it's not going to work. All right? Thank you so much. Look forward to hearing from you anytime, and next week, same time, same place. Thank you for listening.